If you're not taking advantage of using a backpack sprayer to apply liquid applications to your lawn, then you're definitely missing out on a very effective and cost-saving way of applying fertilizers and liquid soil amendments to your lawn. I'm going to talk about two different types of backpack sprayers in this video: manual pump and battery operated, and I'm also going to discuss the pros and cons of each one of these. For years I used to only apply granular fertilizers to my lawn, and I used to always use that green Scott's rotary spreader that you find everywhere, until I discovered that there is a much easier way to get fertilizers and soil amendments on my lawn. I was noticing that all these amazing lawns online were being accomplished because these guys were using liquid applications to put down everything that they could. This included products from Simple Lawn Solutions and Next, which is a product line that I like to use a lot. A spray application has lots of benefits. It gets direct contact with the grass blades and the foliage. It goes down in a much more consistent way so that you get a better coverage. And it is effective right away, which means it doesn't need to be broken down like a granular fertilizer does. This is where having a backpack sprayer is extremely useful. A manual handheld pump sprayer like this will not work if you want to do an entire lawn application. These are designed for spot applications because it's virtually impossible to hold this tank, pump it, keep up the pressure, and walk around and get even coverage on your lawn. So if you want to do an entire lawn application, you're going to need to upgrade to a backpack sprayer like one of these two. I started out with a manual pump sprayer years ago because, well, let's face it, it was a cheaper option and I was just kind of getting into this method and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I ended up picking up this Field King pump sprayer for about $65 on Amazon. It might have been on sale at the time, but still I think on average they were between $70 and $80, which I felt like was a pretty decent deal. It holds 4 gallons and comes with extra tips and everything you need to just get going right out of the box. To be completely honest, this was a great backpack sprayer. I really don't have any major complaints other than my arm was extremely tired from walking around pumping for the entire application. I eventually splurged and picked up this Chapman battery operated sprayer. I think I got it for about $80. Again, it was probably on sale on Amazon when I got it, but still these things were about $100 at the most for what the ones that I was looking for. It had all the same features. It was about 4 gallons, which was the same as my manual pump sprayer. It had extra tips and everything to go right out of the box. But the biggest advantage of this battery operated sprayer, no more pumping. So if you're going to pick up a backpack sprayer, I highly recommend you spend a few extra dollars and get yourself a battery operated backpack sprayer. And here's a few reasons why. Depending on the size of your property, and mine's only about 7,000 square feet, that's still 7 gallons of liquid that I have to pump on my lawn. So it's extremely tiring to use a manual pump sprayer. If you can spend a few dollars and get a battery sprayer, it's definitely worth it. Another really great feature about a battery operated sprayer is the pressure is maintained, which means you'll get a consistent spray pattern no matter where you go. With a pump sprayer, you have to maintain that pressure as you walk, as you pump. So if you walk a little too fast, or if the pressure just starts dropping, you may need to stop and pause a little bit and pump a little bit more to keep that pressure up. If you don't, your spray pattern might decrease a little bit, and then you might not get the same amount of coverage that you normally would. Both sprayers have what's known as an agitator inside the tank. This is used to keep the solution and the liquid stirred up as you're moving along pumping it. In the manual sprayer, the agitator is actually worked as you're pumping, so it's something that's moving as the pump action is happening. In the battery operated sprayer, at least in my Chapman, it's a vibration that's happening as the pump is on. And in my opinion, the vibration agitator in the battery operated sprayer is much more effective at keeping the liquid agitated. This is really important if you start putting down products like humic. These products are really thick, and if they don't stay agitated, they could settle, and then eventually they'll clog up the tips on your sprayer. The last thing that separates these pump sprayers, and this was the biggest thing for me, is the cleanup. When you're done using a backpack sprayer, it's really important that you run clean water through these things, at least a couple of gallons, to get everything out of the tank, out of the hose, and out of the tip, especially if you're using certain types of chemicals that you don't want later on in a future application that you're trying to put down on your lawn. With a manual sprayer, there's no other way to get that to get pumped through there than to just stand there with a tank full of water and pump it with the hand on the trigger, letting all the solution go through the tip. With a battery operated sprayer, all you have to do is fill it with clean water and pull the trigger. You don't have to pump, and in fact, these actually have a locking mechanism on the trigger so that you could lock it in place and walk away for a few minutes while this thing is cleaning itself. The tips on these backpack sprayers are pretty universal, and there are lots of aftermarket tips out there for you to buy, just like the one I talk about right here in this video. So if you want to start using liquid applications on your lawn, and I highly recommend that you do, you'll need to get yourself a backpack sprayer. If your yard is small enough, you can get away with a pump sprayer like this. But if you've got a quarter of an acre or so like I do, you're going to need to get yourself a battery operated one. So keep your eye out there for some good deals, and there's plenty of them out there. You can find one that you can afford, and you're definitely going to enjoy the benefits.